What's up? Welcome into Pick Central. Myself, Ev, Smitty, also joined by our friend. Oh, look at that hat.
There we go.
Look at that hat.
Great hat.
Look at that hat. Brad Powers, one of the best out there. Fresh off another best bet win from last week, now making it 3-0 on the season. So we officially avoided the disaster in the room, Brad, which I know you were worried about. But we avoided it. I'm good to go now. I can talk to you. I'm allowed to speak to you, right? Put him up, Phil.
Might not have spoke back to you.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little bit worried because the weather, wasn't great last week, and there was a rainstorm in the middle of the second quarter, and I thought it was going to kill our over, but we got there easily.
Yeah, we got there. Big picture, anything jump out to you from last week in terms of team you've moved up power ratings, team you've moved down?
It wasn't a good look for Georgia, the team that we thought, just when you thought it was, Georgia's at least safe. All these other teams inconsistent, and then Georgia almost loses to Kentucky. So that wasn't a great look, especially when they got Alabama coming up next week. So that one stood out. We're going to find out, and I'm sure you asked me about the game, but, Tennessee continues to be consistent. I know they haven't played anybody yet, but once the schedule's set, you can't control who you play, but you can control how you play. And when you're absolutely destroying anybody you face on your schedule. I can make it if they do the same against Oklahoma this week. You can make a case Tennessee might be the best team in the country.
Yeah, let's go to that one though. Which way do you lean on that? It's Tennessee minus.
I just got done saying Tennessee might be the best team in the country. It seems too easy to bet Tennessee, to be honest with you. So I got to play my power ratings. I lean Oklahoma. Everyone's throwing them in the trash, and maybe deservedly so, but. This will be by far Tennessee's best defense that they faced. Oklahoma hasn't been this big of a home underdog in a quarter century. I lean Oklahoma. I'm not saying go wild and make a big bet. It's a bet I made. It's not the bet I made this week.
What about the total?
I know you want to go over because that's all you want to do. I lean under. Oklahoma's offense.
I'm not the biggest over guy we got at this company. I will say that. We do have another guy who's the biggest over guy there is, but
I lean under, man. I bet under. It's come down. If you don't believe me, the market's come down 3-4 points this week. So Oklahoma's going to the reason Tennessee might be the best team in the country. I know people are going to focus on the offense. It's their defensive line that separates them even from their team that they had a couple years ago. So they might really get after Oklahoma here. So I would prefer under. If you're asking me to make a side or total bet on the game, it would be the under would be my preference.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Because I'm not. I don't know how you feel about him, Brett. I'm not a big Jackson Arnold guy at all. I think.
I don't think he's any good. In fact, I would say the fall camp report that I got across the entire country that concerned me the most this year was I heard that Jackson Arnold was horrific, outplayed by the backup by a significant margin, and that's only shown up on the field. Now, they worked some quarterback run game last week that certainly helped him and settled him down a little bit. So I look for a lot more quarterback run game in this one, but against Tennessee's defensive line, it might get him killed.
How do you honestly, how do you feel about USC, Michigan? The lines obviously went up, but moved a ton with how USC's look good. Defense looks better. Michigan now makes a switch at quarterback. What do you think?
Power ratings lean Michigan, but eye test tells me SC. I think the SC staff will outcoach Michigan, to say the least. So when I was watching the Texas-Michigan game, I saw Sark just dissecting that Michigan defense in the first half. I can only imagine what Lincoln Riley will do off a bye against that Michigan defense. And then, USC's defense held at the point of attack against LSU's offensive line, and they had to worry about an LSU passing attack in that opener. They don't have to worry about a passing attack here, so they're just going to put 8-9 guys in the box, and if Orji can make a couple throws, then so be it. I don't think he can. You're talking about a guy that completed only 50% of his passes in high school. So I like SC here.
Yeah, doesn't it seem a little bit like the haves and have-nots with the quarterbacks? We saw this play out with Texas. USC has a quarterback, Michigan doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, much of the same here. I can't believe Michigan went into an offseason thinking that was going to be their quarterback room. Something must have happened. They expected more out of Alex Orji. I was hearing that Jack Tuttle was going to be their guy, but he's not healthy. So I mean, this is looking like. Go look at Michigan's schedule. If it goes bad on Saturday, I mean, you could start looking at, talking about 7-5 type of year.
Wow.
Off the defending national champs, 7-5. I mean, that's realistic.
And I think a big thing that people aren't talking about, I mentioned the other day on the show about Michigan, is their offensive line is, I think, significantly went down in terms, like their offensive line last year was elite, maybe the best in the country. They're not getting that same push. They didn't get it against Fresno. They got it a little bit against Arkansas State. Nothing like, they weren't that super dominant, big, bad, jam it down your throat team. And like you said about USC's defense improved, like they're rallying to the ball. Defense is definitely much better. I just don't see them just being able to just like hammer away and play that like classic Michigan style play we've had the last couple of years.
They don't have the guys up front. I mean, they had no starters coming back on that offensive line to begin with, but I got to be underwhelmed starting with the Fresno game. And boy, they don't have a problem in offensive line play at the Chargers now, do they? It must have been coaching.
Yeah.
Somebody I know had a question on another Big Ten game.
Yeah, Nebraska, Illinois tomorrow night. What do you think about Nebraska? We talked on them last week quite a bit. Do you think, especially if they run through Illinois tomorrow night, yeah, they got Ohio State on the schedule, but could they make any noise whatsoever going into the playoffs or even just make the playoffs?
Wow. I mean, they'd still, in my opinion, be a dog to make the playoffs. But, I mean, they got the SC game now on the road, looks much tougher. We'll get a good data point on Friday. I actually lean Illinois in the game. I'm not totally bought into Nebraska because, I mean, you know what worries me is the Colorado. Like after the start of that game, what was that? I mean, it wasn't much offensively. They didn't have to, credit to them, they didn't have to do much. But keep in mind, 14 of those points, one was a pick six and one was a fluke, batted up in the air, pass, catch for a touchdown. I mean, it's not like they went up and down the field on Colorado. I don't know how much success that offense will have against Illinois' defense. So it's a good data point that I will see how good. Obviously, they're improved. Obviously, they're going to go to a bowl game for the first time in 7-8 years. But the game tomorrow will tell us, if this is a team that can maybe get to 9 or 10 wins this year.
It seems like Nebraska right now, they're staring 7-0 at the face, hosting game day, or is it a game at Ohio State?
I just love how you guys just chalk. Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
But you have.
That's what I'm saying.
Notre Dame beat Texas A&M playoffs.
Where
they're sure we're only fighting for 11 bids now. Next week they lose a 4-touchdown.
That's what I was gonna say. Nebraska is a classic lose when they're not supposed to. So in this stretch, I see one coming.
Which one?
I don't know. I think it's more so. I don't think it's this one. I think it's more so like the one you don't expect.
I think they play Indiana before the Ohio State game, right?
I think that's
Indiana
too.
I think that's the tough game.
Yeah, I didn't think that was going to be a tough one coming into this.
But I agree. I bet Illinois. I got 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Illinois.
You're in good shape. This just seems like a classic slugfest in the Big Ten West, and my goodness, and if that's the case, suppressed scoring, I'll take the points, and especially over a touchdown.
Yep, I think Bielema turns into just a ground and pound dogfight.
Yeah.
No, sir. Thank you. Fuck Matt Rule. Yeah, let's do it.
Cam Rising hurt again. What do you think about the status of that game? How much does that devalue Utah? And also, I mean, we know Utah's unbelievable at home. They're a different team on the road. Now with the backup quarterback potentially, do you lean OK State? You lean Utah?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're talking about a 5-point difference. It's moved 5 points twice this week.
Right.
He's going to play, moves towards Utah being favored. He's not going to play here in the last 12, 14 hours. Now it's back to Oklahoma State being a 2.5-point favorite. Whether Rising plays or he doesn't, I like Oklahoma State to win the game and cover the point spread. So you mentioned it. Utah being a very tough place to play at home. They're not the same team on the road. Oklahoma State's not much better at home than they are on the road. Gundy, if they were to be catching points, he's 8-1 straight up as a home underdog. So this just feels like a classic Mike Gundy game where that they're fired up. I'm guessing now that Rising isn't going to play. So I mean, making a first career road start, not an ideal situation. So I like the Pokes here.
Gundy, one of the most underrated coaches in the country.
Absolutely. In fact, I mean, in the last 15 years, the only coaches to win more games than him were Dabo Sweeney and Nick Saban.
Wow.
That's it.
I'm glad you little segue there with Dabo Sweeney. That Clemson NC State line, big number.
Big number.
What are you thinking?
Well, obviously Grayson McCall's out. Bailey, I kind of like at NC State, but he's still making his first road start as a freshman. I bet Clemson, but again, that number's in a galaxy far, far away a long time ago. So at the current numbers, I would need a 21 to play back NC State.
What about TCU SMU? Kind of like SMU getting the points here.
I like the over. I can't. Very tough trusting either team. I'll give you a hot take. I think Sonny Dykes is fired by the end of next season. So a guy makes a national championship game at TCU, fired within a couple years. So I could see SMU winning. The problem I have is that SMU offensive line's no good. So but I'll go over the total here. Be a square.
What about I would say a Big 12 game? It's interesting. Two teams that kind of underwhelmed to start the year. Kansas, West Virginia. I'll say already. I actually blocked in Kansas before we started the show. I was curious your thoughts on that game.
I think the season's on the line for both programs. I mean, at 1-3, it's over. I mean, it's already pretty dicey as it is. I didn't bet it, side or total, yet. If I had to bet it, I would lean over. But it's tough to try. I mean, I want to bet Kansas, but Daniels is not the same quarterback. And I don't know if Leopold, if it was him or if it was his offensive coordinator, Colton Nickey, that's at Penn State right now. So that offense is really struggling for the Jayhawks.
What about Miami, South Florida? Miami's been rolling teams. They haven't really played anybody. And, you consider Florida a team, but Florida's middle of the pack in the SEC. South Florida gives Alabama their best effort. South Florida at home. You leaning with the dog there?
Yeah, I bet the dog this week. Yeah, obviously misleading final, the Alabama game. I mean, you can make a case that they should have been winning that game outright with 5-6 minutes left. And you look at the final, I'm sure a lot of people didn't watch it. 42-16, oh, just played to expectations. No, it didn't. In fact, if the quarterback played a better game, again, Alabama's down in that one late in the fourth quarter. As long as Brown plays better than he did against Alabama, I think South Florida, this is probably a tight game, middle of the fourth quarter. So, yeah, I mean, I'll take the more than 14 points here.
Florida's got Mississippi State this week, correct?
Yeah, at Mississippi State.
Yeah, at Mississippi.
You want to bet that game, Rico?
No, I don't. I don't want to bet it, but it's
God.
so gross. I needed an opinion on it.
Don't bet it. That's the opinion.
All right.
I don't know. I mean, my numbers say under. I made a bet on the under, but I don't know how you could trust either side at this point. Mississippi State, outside of bad Vanderbilt teams, this Mississippi State team could be the worst SEC team in the last 2 decades. So and Florida, I mean,
That's a shame.
they're one loss away from the coach being fired on the field. So
Yeah.
No interest.
It's impactful for the win total with Florida. That's why I'm kind of interested in it.
Would you went under?
Yes.
You're safe, bud.
You think so?
You think?
I don't know. I get a little worried
my
sometimes.
God. I mean, are you kidding me? Have you seen the schedule
they
coming up?
could be 2-1. They're favored this week. They could be 2-1. I know the
my
schedule
God.
at the end is
Yeah,
tough.
I mean, I'm telling. What'd you get? What number did you get?
5.5.
Yeah, you're good. You're in
All
the
right.
same boat as me. I'm
All
not. I'm sweating a bunch of them already. That's not one I'm sweating. I don't go and put my head down on the pillow at night worrying about under 5.5 wins on Florida.
All right.
I think it's very likely they're a 3-9 team.
All right.
I was another one too. Actually, it's not a Big 12 games like this, but the late night game in Provo, Kansas State coming off the big win against Arizona. Obviously, Provo always super tough to go play there, and BYU's looked better than expected so far. What do you think?
Yeah, I just bet numbers early in the week. I bet Kansas State, but man, the more I dive into that matchup, I think BYU's the sharp side there. You're right; they have been a much better than expected so far, BYU and Kansas State. Impressive win last week. I think that's more to do with Arizona not being any good than Kansas State's great. Keep in mind, Kansas State could have lost to Tulane last week, so yeah, I think BYU's the sharp side. In fact, I think BYU's live.
Who are some injuries that are impactful that people don't know about in some games?
I'll give you one that's sneaky, and I think it's a positive for the team. Western Kentucky's quarterback, TJ Finley's out. I like the backup more. Veltkamp, last 2 times he's played, he's thrown 5 touchdown passes in both games. So 27 out of 30 last week. The kid can play. You might remember him from the bowl game last year. He led the 3 touchdown come from behind win over Old Dominion. I think the kid's he must not practice well because he can't be the starter. But man, when the game comes on, he's really good. So I actually think it's a positive that Finley can't play for Western Kentucky.
Who's Western Kentucky got this week?
They got Toledo.
Oh, Toledo off the big win. Wow,
Yep.
That's a good game.
In Western Kentucky,
Wait
right?
for maybe a 3 shows. If it doesn't, then you're not losing. Western Kentucky's a 2.5 point home underdog. So you wait for a 3. If it never shows, I still think Western Kentucky's live.
Okay. What's your favorite total of the week?
Well, let's just go to the best bets. It's that game right there. It's Toledo, Western Kentucky. Best bet over 60 right now.
Wow.
I just got done saying I think Western Kentucky upgraded certainly in their passing game, and I don't know if that's properly priced in the market. Obviously, we just saw Toledo go up and down the field. If they're flat, maybe they're flat on defense. Western Kentucky's defense got lit up. Middle Tennessee put 500 yards on them last week, so I think Toledo will move the football. So that's fun. We've been playing some overs here, so let's go over 60. Toledo, Western Kentucky, best bet.
Start hanging out with us. You're playing overs.
Mm-hmm. There's some value.
I'm not knocking them.
You're betting 20 overs a week. I'm just giving you out 2 a week.
Yeah, fair
The
enough.
problem is with Brad, he's betting unders too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I would say one more I want to ask about because to me it's the most perplexing line. I think I've been back and forth on. I think I know where I'm going to be at sidewise, but Arizona State Wazoo. What are your
Texas
thoughts
Tech.
there? Or excuse me,
tough game.
Yes, Texas Tech, Arizona State.
Numbers say Arizona State. Spot to me says Texas Tech. I don't know what Texas Tech team we got. Is it the one from the first couple weeks, or the light bulb finally come on last week against North Texas? Going to be a little bit of win, but if there's always win there. But I'll again be a square. I like the over in the game.
That's the one I like the most this week. I just think those 2 defenses.
I almost gave that out as the best bet over,
Okay.
but I think 17-mile-an-hour win, so that concerns me a little bit.
All right. I'll give you one last final team that's been puzzling. I was high on this team coming into the season, but what's going on with Virginia Tech? Would you lay that number against Rutgers?
I wait for a 3 to show, but yeah, I would lay it.
Really?
What has Rutgers done? I mean,
Yep.
Howard game wasn't impressive. They had to score on the final play of the game to cover for some people, and then so what? They beat Akron. I know Virginia Tech hasn't looked dominating, but I think they're the better team. They're at home, so yeah, I have laid it there.
Lines come down quite a bit too.
Yeah,
Open
a market
5.5 or
influencer
so.
gave out Rutgers. They're a known winner over the last 20 years, but they don't scare me.
What about an outright?
It's all numbers. Okay, yeah, you like
Yep.
Rutgers at +6. I like Virginia Tech at -3. So that's all this is here.
Yep.
You can have a difference opinion, yeah, because of the number.
What about an outright dog to take a stab at?
Oh, good one. I got one for you. I think East Carolina can beat Liberty. Liberty's being treated like the team from last year. They haven't covered a point spread yet. They failed to cover by 12 points per game. I watched the New Mexico State game. They should have lost to New Mexico State. I'm here to tell you, New Mexico State's a bottom 5 team in the country. You saw what Fresno did to them last week. So, and New Mexico State should have lost to an FCS opponent in week 1. Liberty's running back might not play. He's a really good one, probably a top 5 running back at the G5 level. I just need the East Carolina quarterback not to throw 3 interceptions like he's done every week. If he throws 2 instead of 3, I think they're live.
Okay. All right. That's Brad Powers, a weekly spot. We'll catch you next week. Appreciate the time, Brad.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
All
Take
right,
care.
awesome.
Brad.
Thank you, Brad.
I like East Carolina a little bit now.
I like it.
So East Carolina over 60.5 in Western Kentucky.
Western
Toledo.
Kentucky,
And
Toledo.
what was his almost?
It was
Arizona State, Texas
over.
Tech, which is
Gotcha.
my over
Gotcha.
for the week. So
Rico's over. That
Yeah.
he did not take.
I do like it though. They both have been like over teams.
yes, very, very much over.
It's just I think it's the weather's the reason why it's on the lower side.
Which is
Yeah.
smart. That's what smart people do. They see 17-mile-an-hour winds. They take that and use it their brain.
Yeah.
So I kind of like Arizona State in the game, but I agree. It almost feels like they've just looked better. They've looked good pretty much all 3 weeks. And coming the year, people didn't think Arizona State was going to be good. They thought they could be might be the worst team or one of the worst teams in the Big 12, and they're definitely not. So it's just a weird line. And Texas Tech has had some stinkers. I mean, now they get smoked by Wazoo.
Then they scored 90
And
last
then they
week.
score 100 against North Texas, and all of a sudden they're small favorites. They're 3, 2.5. I
Yep.
think it's down to. I think I'm going to be on Arizona State.
Okay.
I like Dillingham. I
like the
think
over.
he's just a good coach.
Yeah. Who's their quarterback? Arizona State?
Leave it. He was at He was at Michigan State, I believe. Is he Sam Leavitt? I think his name is. He's pretty good. He's mobile.
Okay. Yeah,
Obviously, they got the kids.
I think that game goes. I think that game goes up and down. I like what I see out of that.
I mean, Texas State game definitely did. And it even started slow, and they still were going back.
Was there anything else that jumped out in college or big games or different things we didn't touch on?
One that I like, Vandy. I like against Mizzou. I just think it's a lot of points. I think Vandy's underrated. I know it's tough because I know they just lost to Georgia State last week. They had a stinker. Obviously, they had the big game week 1. They beat Virginia Tech outright as 2 touchdown dogs. I think Mizzou to me, I think Mizzou's good. But I think their schedule is just easy, and I think
they haven't been tested.
They just.
BC last week. I should say
BC gave them a run for their money.
Yep.
They did. I would say, granted, they were down 2 scores. They scored to make it a 1-score game. So Mizzou Mizzou was down. I think it was 14-0 or 17-3. And they had a big last basically 5-6 minutes of the first half to make it a game. I think they were down 14-0 maybe or 14-3, and they make it 17-14 before the half. But yeah, I think Vanderbilt's not bad. I think they're building towards being a respectable program. I like the new coach. I think they can keep it within 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Anything jump out to you, Smitty?
Nothing much. We talked about it a little bit pre-show. We're going to ask Brad, but what does Texas exactly do?
Oh, yeah. I was waiting for you to ask that.
Yeah. What's they have a good problem right now. They have all the quarterbacks in the world, but what do they do?
I think they have kind of a great problem where I don't even think it's not a problem at all. Because I think the situation is perfect where I think they can legitimately win with either guy. And you're going to stick with Ewers. Obviously, he's the guy that's been there, more experienced, all that. He has had some injuries, and I think you have an unbelievable quarterback just behind him if anything happens. I think you basically have the best insurance policy in college football.
All right.
That's the way I view it.
How long is Ewers going to be out?
I think they're saying I think he's fine. I think just that game was in. He got hurt. It was they were blowing out UTSA.
The only way they can really mess it up is if they do something, obviously, where they screw one quarterback over the other and then one gets hurt. That's a nightmare situation. But if they do something where there is a rotation,
Sarkisian's a great coach. He's not anything like that.
That would be.
And Ewers, I think there's no reason to do that. Ewers has solidified himself. He's played unbelievable this year.
Agreed.
A Michigan game, he looked like the number 1 pick in the draft. I thought he looked incredible.
All you need is one oil money booster saying, "Hey."
No, but they were in the playoff last year.
It's a little harder to do that.
He looked awesome. It's not like the team's dominant and he's looked shaky. And you got Arch back there. He's looked unbelievable. I just feel like it would be. I just couldn't fathom a world where that happened. The only thing that I think could maybe make it tricky would be if Ewers got hurt and was out for 3-4 weeks.
Oh.
And then Arch comes in, looks unbelievable. Then it's do we go back? I think that's the only thing that is feasible that could happen.
Or if McConaughey demands Arch starts.
No, but nothing like that. I know you're breaking about. Ewers has just been so good. That's why I don't think it's a concern.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right, let's switch gears to tonight, Thursday Night Football. Jets -6. Is it 6? Are we seeing?
Yeah, 6.5. I think 6 right now.
Total's at what? 38.5.
38.5.
Last time I checked. Jets hosting the Patriots. Home opener for the Jets. I'm not playing the game. I lean the Pats this way.
I like the Pats and I like the under.
Yeah, I like the Pats. I like Pats and under too. I think Pats are alive.
I think Pats are very alive. Very alive. The Jets did not look great last week. They didn't look good.
Either way, they haven't looked good, period. They just have.
They're saying, Rodgers keeps saying we're going to ascend. We're going to ascend. Man, they started off slow.
They were very fortunate to win the Tennessee game.
Yep.
Levis just handed them a ball, a red zone turnover. The Pats defense is just good. I don't think there's any two ways about it.
So what does that tell you about Geno Smith then?
What?
Pretty fucking good right now.
Oh yeah, I think the Seahawks are a solid team, absolutely. And that game was on the road too. And granted, this one obviously on the road, but obviously from familiar opponent. The Jets have done nothing for me to sit there and be like, why are they almost a touchdown favorite here?
Exactly.
That's what it is. Why are they laying 6? I'll take 6.5 with the Pats. I already did. I'm on the Pats.
Anything in terms of props, touchdown?
Oh, I got a good one.
What do you got?
No touchdown score in this game, plus 4,000.
Yeah,
That'd be so far. I mean, I got the under, so I'd be.
Be honest,
I'd
I
be
think
fine
I think a touchdown's being scored, obviously, but
I wish you could get
this
that
could be one of those games.
little idea for DraftKings. They're the best, but little idea, no touchdowns in the first half. What if you did that?
They might have it. Did you look?
Can you pull that up, Phil?
I'm looking.
That would be a little idea, you know what I mean? Because the game is a long period of time. Somebody's bound to score one. If you take it, it's a great payout. But can you get no touchdowns in the first half?
I
love that.
I do know this, though. I don't think either team is bad enough for that prop to hit, for that bet to hit. You need two bad teams who don't care.
You can bet on total touchdowns in the first half. It's under 2 is minus 160.
Okay. I like that. Way to pull that app up, Phil.
Wow.
Good pull. It's good.
All right.
I like Stevenson to score a touchdown.
I like Stevenson to score a touchdown,
there was-
too. Plus
there was-
125. I'm on that for house call.
So a stat I saw too that was big, that basically the Jets are just really they're very bad at defending the running back pass. They give up a ton of completions to the passing game. I saw Stevenson like over 2.5 catches. I looked at. Also the other way too, like Breece Hall, they love throwing him the ball. Last week I think he had 8 targets. The first game I think he had 7 targets. Mm-hmm. So I had his over receiving yards I looked at was like 31.5. Also Hunter Henry to score plus 500.
Jerry loves it.
I just think I don't understand why the number is so big. He had 100 yards last week. They played 2 games. He gets targets. I just plus 500. I just don't understand why the number is that big for Hunter Henry.
You boys are leaving out the best gravy prop of the night. Aaron Rodgers under 1.5 yards rushing, minus 130, baby.
It's down to 1.5.
I like it.
It's down to 1.5.
I like it because I mean, any knees like you're getting the -1, and
he's not making it back to the line of scrimmage.
He's not gonna. There needs to be 20 yards in front of him and no one even remotely open for him to even think about running the ball.
Like they're not even going to give him a QB sneak opportunity.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. They would just hand up off the ball. They're giving fullback dive, halfback dive. They're not sneaking.
Like, he is not making it back to the line of scrimmage.
No, I agree. He's not like he can still move a little bit, but he's not like Packers Rodgers where he's running around and back. He's going to scramble a little bit, have a couple 10-yard runs a game, pick up first downs. He's not doing that. He's not even going to attempt it.
No.
I agree with you. I probably won't play it, but
I'm playing it.
I agree with you.
I'm playing it.
I put it this way. I definitely wouldn't play over 1.5.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't do that. You guys are both alive.
Especially last week, it was a staunch, long plus 2.5. Yeah. Didn't even sniff it.
You guys are both alive for Stuhlviber?
Yep.
End zone crown. Who are you leaning this week?
You know, I was looking at Breece Hall tonight, minus 135. I think I'm going to abstain from this game this evening because
low total.
Could just
ugly.
get ugly.
You like the Pats.
Yeah, it could just get ugly. So I'm gonna wait on my research a little bit more.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go either like a Saquon or like a Derrick Henry, like someone like that. I was thinking about I'm just keeping it chalk now. While you got actually, I almost don't even want to say this because I feel like it's. If the starter doesn't play, I almost think it's like so sharp and like the clear like play this week. If Kenneth Walker doesn't play, Charbonnet's the play.
True.
Like that's one like I almost feel like I'm giving it out to all the people that don't watch football.
Yeah.
But I mean Charbonnet, if Kenneth Walker does not play, Charbonnet right now is minus like 140 to score. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many weeks are you going to get where he's like the guy?
There's
a good offense. I think that I can't. Who are the Seahawks playing again?
No,
the Dolphins, maybe?
Yeah, the Dolphins at home.
Yeah, like at home, like
that's a great.
I think totals in like the mid 40s,
and
maybe it might be lower because
you know who else is in a similar situation. And I don't like him as much because he has done dick in his career. But backup running back going to be starting this week is minus money, score touchdown. Cam Akers. Minus 125.
Interesting. Okay.
I believe he's at home. So same sort of situation where they're not going to play, but if you need somebody to score a touchdown in this competition, you don't have to use him again.
Because that's where I think, because Kenneth Walker, I'm pretty sure he like might even play this week. So if he doesn't, there's a very good chance he's going to play next week or week after.
Yeah, exactly.
So like even for example, like I used Jordan Mason last week. The window on him is pretty big. Like he's going to be playing obviously a little bit. Charbonnet, this could be it. If at all, he might. That's why I'm gonna wait on it because I think that's gonna be my pick if he plays. But so I'm not gonna submit mine until probably Sunday when I need to know for a fact. Obviously, Kenneth Walker's not gonna play.
Yeah.
Like if somebody wins this competition on Derrick Henry in Week 7, tip of the hat to you. That means you haven't used them. And
That's what I'm playing the long game. I'm trying to set myself up to do something like that.
Yeah.
There's a guy who's a backup. I mean, Denver is bad. Denver's bad.
Yeah.
If White doesn't go for the Bucks, what do you guys think about Bucky Irving plus 195?
I mean, if he doesn't go, I don't hate it. Obviously, it's all based on that.
Depends
but
upon if he goes.
If Rashad White's out, I definitely don't. I don't.
I don't hate it. It's if he goes, if
that
he
number,
doesn't go, that's going to be minus
become
money.
it'll become like a pick 'em probably
Yeah.
for him to score if he's getting like the line share of the carries.
I was also looking at Seattle's defense to score a touchdown.
Just
a straight up
Yeah,
play
just-
against Skylar.
just
Straight up.
it's fun because he looked so bad coming in the end of that game when it was just the game was done. He played okay in that playoff game. I mean, he's had some moments where he hasn't looked like awful. He definitely had moments where he has, but I don't blame you. Also, they got some ball hawks in the secondary. Seattle, they could go jumper out.
Yeah. What you guys
I'm
aren't
surprised this line isn't bigger, to be honest with you.
It's 6.5.
I thought it was started at 4.5.
But I'm saying I think it's 6.5 now. No,
It still might be small.
you guys aren't here tomorrow. What jumps out at you for the NFL this weekend? In terms of games to watch, like just compelling record games, like both teams 2-0, both teams 0-2, straight up, I think the weirdly the Chargers Steelers is a fucking unbelievable game now.
absolutely.
1.5 point spread, Pittsburgh favored. LA coming across the country.
Yeah, I kind of like the Steelers at home, man. That's it. Like with that defense going there and win a game like that. Honestly, the matchup I don't know how much you guys have looked into it. Joe Alt has been like unbelievable. Like he literally put Max Crosby in his back pocket in basically like his first game in the NFL.
Do you think he could be Rookie of the Year?
He won't, but he
should.
But he should.
If that's the
He
case.
won't. But we might be looking up, and he may be throwing a gold jacket on this guy in like 15 years. The way he's like, the start is insane what he's done. So fascinating to go see him go against TJ Watt.
What pick did
That's the matchup.
What pick did they have?
5.
They had 5. Interesting.
Yep, 5.
Man.
Hell of a tackle. He's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
that's how you build franchises.
Yeah.
He's been incredible. So that's like for a football like lovers matchup. I'm very fascinated to see how Joe Alt goes against TJ Watt.
Ravens Cowboys is compelling.
Yeah, there's a couple like dangerous games for teams. Like Rangers Cowboys, somebody's going to be 1-2
You
after
want to know what's a really good Texans Vikings.
Texans Vikings.
Yep.
2-0 teams. Crazy Houston's only they're only minus like 1.5 here, 2.
And the Bears Colts has got to be a figure it out game for both teams. The Colts lose, they're 0-3. I mean, that's a playoff team right there for
Dead in that division.
Yeah.
There's another one too. Oh, the what was I gonna say? Lions Cardinals, I think is a fact. I like the Cardinals in the points. Cardinals are catching 3 at home.
You know who's looking really good early on? Little Kyler.
This is the time you bet on him week 3, week 4. This is when.
That's right. It's looking good. Before
I think +3 at home. I think I'm definitely going to be on that. It's Sunday night. I like the Falcons.
Yeah.
Give me
I like the Falcons.
Give me the Falcons at home +3.5.
I like the Falcons as well. I also like Travis Kelce to finally score.
I like Kelsey big. If I was still alive, that would be my pick. I'd pick Kelsey to score a touchdown. I don't think he's going to sit around for a while and not, especially if it's a Sunday night game. I think he gets the touchdown.
You know who I really do not like? The Philadelphia Eagles +2.5. I do not like them one bit.
It's one of those, it's tough because you're just the Saints. Are they this good? They might be good. They can't be this good.
You know what the Saints remind me of right now? They remind me of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading into the playoffs last year against this Eagles team. That's what they remind me.
But it's so early though. Like
no, but this isn't giving the Saints their flowers. This isn't even giving really the Bucs their flowers last year. This is showing how bad the mental capacity and wherewithal is right now with the Philadelphia Eagles. I do not think they go into New Orleans and win based on what I saw last week and last season. I told you I had dream team vibes coming into this year. This is the reason why.
the defense is the pass rush and all that definitely is concerning.
The pass rush is concerning. You know how many yards they're giving up a rush? 6.4. Worse than the NFL.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the Rams the Saints offensive line has been really good.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. Yeah. Also, just going off quick, Arch is starting this week. It was just her, and they're playing Louisiana Monroe. But
So it's a nothing
another
burger.
extended look at Arch, get the confidence.
Nothing.
going.
It's a nothing burger, but what if he goes 40 for 40 for 7 tutties and
Not against UL Monroe. That won't they'll be
okay, so what if he goes 15 for 15 in the first quarter?
they'll say great.
Yeah.
They'll say Ewers probably would have done the same.
Exactly. Tough spot.
Just Arch is getting a look.
Yeah.
You want to see the kid? He's playing on Saturday, full
Good.
game.
What else jumps out to you? I know you had something with the Sixers. What's going on there? What did you have?
Talking some hoops.
It's behind the curtain, so we shoot the shit pre-show about like topics and stuff and like what we're going to talk about. And I just throw out there, hey, like if we need something to talk about, think about like last 10 minutes of the show. We already run through all football. Talk about the Sixers a little bit and what's going on in the stadium, and it's 12:35 right now. So we'll talk about it. So the Sixers they rent in the Wells Fargo Center, which I think a lot of people don't realize. They rent to play in their stadium, so they wanted to build a new stadium, which is they're perfectly willing and able to do as a private corporation or team in America. But they don't want to build their own stadium. They want help. And instead of them abiding to the city of Philadelphia's regulations and help, they threatened to move to the city of Camden in New Jersey as more of a scare tactic than anything. And the city of Philadelphia caved, which means, or the mayor caved, which means that a brand new Philadelphia 76ers stadium will be smack dab in Center City, basically right in Chinatown, displacing a lot of communities, businesses. A lot of people really, really, really not happy about it. It's basically going to make millionaires more millionaires, and there's 3 hospitals right there in Center City. So I mean, if you have a heart attack on game night playing Celtics, it might be a little tough for you. So big to do going on in the great city of brotherly love, involving Josh Harris and one of his 3 professional sports teams that I'm sure he cares a lot about the fans.
I always thought the coolest part about like all the Philadelphia teams that
It's always right together.
they're all
It
right
is.
together. Yeah, like that just ruins the whole vibe.
It
It
is
makes the Sixers not a Philly team in my opinion.
Well, I mean, they're dead center Philadelphia. Even if they went to Camden, people don't understand that Camden's right across the Delaware River, which is 300 yards from where they are playing right now. But it's just kind of it. If you say, look, the Sixers are going to have the stadium in the city of Philadelphia, and it's going to look great, and it's going to be great for the city, like you put it out on paper and like visualize it. Yeah, that sounds amazing, but what it's actually doing to the community, where it's going, it's sad. Like there's really nothing more. It's sad and it's greedy and it sucks.
Yes, scumbags.
Yes, Josh Harris is a fucking scumbag. I'll say it. Josh Harris is a fucking scumbag. He owns 3 fucking teams in 3 different states. How do you have loyalty to a fan base when that's the case? No, you care about fucking money above everything else.
Yeah.
Like, it's written, like, it's right in front of everybody's face. He owns 3 sports teams. He doesn't care about Sixers fans. He doesn't.
He owns 3 different teams too, right?
Yeah.
He owns them
In 3
somewhere
different
else.
cities.
He owns
Exactly.
I thought he was down to
No,
Flyers guy.
Sixers, Devils, and Commanders.
Devils, that's right.
Frank
Crazy.
hates them.
I forgot that was Devils.
That's crazy.
Interesting.
That's crazy.
And the Flyers would still play in Wells Fargo.
The Flyers still play in Wells Fargo. Flyers are basically owned by Comcast.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
You're going to Arkansas.
Yeah, Auburn.
Auburn.
Flying to Auburn tomorrow morning. Very excited. I kind of like Arkansas in the game. It's so Auburn started their freshman hotshot quarterback Hank Brown. It's a classic like college football situation you've seen a million times where you got the young kid, you got all this hope, like 5-star kid, put him in. He looked good the first game. They played nobody. That was Brad's over last week. But I'm kind of fascinated to see him play Arkansas, even though I don't think Arkansas's defense is good at all. But I'm kind of fascinated to see him play like a real team, SEC start, home game. But yeah, I think Arkansas is very live. The spread's only like 3.
Yeah.
But Arkansas also, they're both teams are on a weird side because both we thought they'd be 2-0 here, or actually not. Arkansas, you didn't think that they should have been 2-0,
Right.
or 3-0. I guess you should say 3-0. They should have beat Oklahoma State. They blew it. And then Auburn drops from the Cal. That was gross at home. Peyton Thorne gets benched. Here we are. But I'm super excited. I've heard great things about Auburn. Brandon said it's like one of the best places to go. Great stadium. We're not going to the game, but I'm excited to do the show down there. Shut up. Bosco hooked it up. Gonna go to Auburn practice tomorrow. Auburn basketball
Little
practice. Meet the boys.
Wait. Isn't that like treason?
I have a lot of friends.
So isn't that treason?
Yeah, I have a lot of friends.
Marty said the same thing
I have
yesterday.
a lot of friends. Sue me.
I have no ties
People
to
like
Alabama.
hanging out with me.
Yeah. You'd like to hang out with the president. If Osama's in the room, what you gonna do?
People
I'm a
like to
big-
hang out with me.
Yeah,
Big Bruce
people
Pearl
there.
guy?
Yeah.
I've seen
Stop by practice?
Yeah, I've seen Bruce Pearl a couple times. Nice guy.
Equipment guy can hook me up with some Auburn merch. We got no beef with Auburn.
I could root for Auburn every game they play except 2. Let's put it that way.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
It's tough though. Every game but 2.
Every game but 2. I mean, I'm just
they're
saying I
bitter
could root
arch
for them.
rival?
I could root for them for everything but 2. I got a lot of friends. People know that. They know that's part of the deal. They know who I ride with.
But you've dug your heels in the sand on Alabama more than
Yeah.
any other team ever.
It's very true.
Like you've made your connections.
You earned your Bear Bryant checkered hat.
Yeah.
You have.
Exactly. I got to get down to a game this year.
when Bama plays a basketball game, you put a hard hat on.
Yeah. I got to find my hard hat. I don't know where it is, actually. I got to find that hard hat. All right, what else jumps out?
I really think more just going off the college to him bringing up the Oklahoma State. That game is Oklahoma State Utah. I think I have to wait till they officially announce Cam Rising, but the line movement just screams that he's not going to play. I've never seen a line movement like it where it opens 3 because they're saying Cam Rising's not going to play. All of a sudden it's a pick 'em. He is playing. Then it's back to +3s.
Yep.
Basically that he's not playing, all within basically 3-4 days. I almost still wanted to play Utah. I trust Utah, but he makes good put. Especially if Cam Rising doesn't play, they're just a whole different team. And having to go the young quarterback, having to go to Stillwater, massive game for the conference. They have Bowman, who I'm not crazy about. He's decent, but he's 25 years old, the veteran guy. Literally his 7th year in college football, not an exaggeration. So he might have swung me into Oklahoma City. I might just not play it, but I thought about the over too, because I think Oklahoma State's been kind of an over team. Their defense, I don't think is great.
No, it's not lights out.
But Utah's, I don't know if they're quite the defense they've had the last few years. So the overs, I think it's 54. I kind of like the over too, but yeah, he might have swung me in Oklahoma State.
Did you gentlemen see Dave's single game parlay for tonight?
No.
Plus 1,500. Patriots +6. Hunter Henry to score a TD. Aaron Rodgers under 214.5 passing yards.
I don't
3 legs.
I mean, if Hunter scores
I
a
like
TD,
the Pats and I like Henry. I mean,
Yeah.
Harry likes him too.
I mean, if Hunter scores a TD, that's you're looking good.
Yeah.
You're looking good.
15-1.
15-1. Also, Rodgers, yes.
Yeah,
I like that.
he hasn't done it yet.
Yeah, he hasn't
Oh.
done it yet.
He threw for 170 some last week.
They play
And
slow.
also, I'll give him credit. Christian Gonzalez is becoming maybe one of the lockdown corners in the game. I mean, he put Jamar Chase in his back pocket week 1. There was a lot going on there. I mean, me and Dukes talked about he had food poisoning. He hadn't practiced a ton, only really the week before. But they might have a legit shutdown corner there where you can actually put a checker on a checker, throw him on Garrett Wilson and at least contain him. And then, I mean, they have Lazard, but they don't have that's why I like the Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall is going to get a lot of checkdowns, so I like his receiving yards. But I don't see a world where Rodgers just goes I mean, could he eclipse 214? Sure, but I don't see a world. I'd be really surprised if he looked up and had 275, 280 yards.
Exactly.
I'd be like, whoa, they really shredded him.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of where I just
Good
really
bet.
like the Pats.
Good bet.
Not too bad.
Defense travels. I'll trust the defense, a good defense in 6 points.
Yeah.
I just hope that, and I like that Brissett's a knock on wood,
Game manager,
mistake maker. So I'm hoping he just doesn't make the big mistake, they have the big turnover inside their own 30. They don't have that bad where they're going to drive to score, have the turnover on opposite 20. But but I trust him to do that. I don't know. I just think it's a lot with a good defense, a lot of points.
Yeah.
Jets have been very underwhelming, even in their win, underwhelming. And Tennessee, I mean, is not good. They're dog shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good bet. We need to congratulate Ev and Marty and all the other Yankees fans here for winning the NL East.
Yeah, I wanted to switch to baseball too. So,
Yes.
well, I kind of
It's the
hate.
playoffs.
Well, no, NL East because the Baltimore Orioles they're in a tailspin.
They're in a
man.
disaster.
Yeah, no, they look awful.
Like,
They have been really
Like
bad.
a lot of the times, I dismiss what Marty. Oh, they won't win 90 games. They won't do this. They won't do that. Like he puts these things out, or Daniel Jones is gonna be great and whatever. And it's usually he's like 1 out of 10. But this was legit. Like I mean, the Orioles are a disaster.
Well, we just talk about it so much and more for me, it's the Orioles fans have just become annoying out of nowhere. I just think they had the great farm system. They got like guys like Rushman, Gunnar Henderson. These guys, they've been great. They have been great. But I just think they in baseball crowned them so early before they did anything. Last year, they obviously had a phenomenal season. They won 100 games. Out of the playoffs in 2 seconds. Didn't even win a game. Here they are now. When it matters most, they're collapsing. Maybe they can muster something up for the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be a wild card team. But I just think we just feel like crown them so early. I never understood why. Like when you have all these young guys that are unproven, like let them prove something.
Well, you understand.
I understand
why.
the hype. I understand the hype and the like excitement from Orioles
Yeah.
fans because they've been so bad, and now you have a team that's pretty good. But they don't have good starting pitching. Their bats have went ice cold.
That's true.
So I'm just like even the moves they made at the deadline. Trevor Rogers stinks. Like their bullpen outside of Cano is not good.
You know what they did do yesterday,
They DFA'd Craig Kimbrell.
and that is going to be
And the fact that they went into
the
the year being like this is going to be like our closer essentially, or like is just nuts.
yeah, that was bad.
Nuts.
That was bad, and I will accept my flowers for saying that.
three other teams have done that already, and it shit the bed every time. What do you think? Again, they were like, "Let's do it. We'll do it." And see.
Well, if anything, they're lucky that it happened already and not in the playoffs. So I think that is going to be a huge addition by subtraction.
And listen, I'll say this: listen, Yankees Clay Holmes stinks.
Yeah, you guys
I'll
are
say,
in a
like,
bad
I'm
spot
not-
with your bullpen too.
But we have some like Cousins have been good, like Weaver's been good, like we have some guys that like Canley's been good. Like we have some reliable guys in the pen, but Clay Holmes, they just still keep sending him out in the 9th, and he just keeps blowing saves.
Yeah, he does.
We're lucky that we score in the 10th, and then we come and shut it down after that. But I don't know how much longer he can keep just trotting out Clay Holmes and be like, oh, he's just the 9th inning guy. Because to me, he's the 9th inning guy in name only. His performance has not been that for a long time.
They tried him out in the 8th inning last night and it didn't work.
Oh, excuse me, the 8th. Yeah, exactly, the 8th. Like I don't know. He's getting to a point where it's like, how can we even keep like sending this guy out there? He is one of the most night and day pitchers I've like ever seen. He will have 3-month stretches where I'm like, this guy's unhittable. He's the best closer in baseball. And then he'll have a 3-month stretch where it's like, how is this guy on a roster?
Yeah.
It's shocking.
And the Mets have an opportunity to get their NL East position, 4 games at the end of the week? Within 4? If you sweep?
If they sweep, it would be down to 3. But
Okay.
The Phillies have to split the series to clinch the East.
Yeah, which we're not worried about the East. Stop with that. We're,
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
playing well with the fucking.
You're the one who I would see for like a month be like, getting worried?
Yeah, I was like, it's getting interesting. I was like, it's got to get to 5. I did say it had to get to 5, and it's never hit 5. I said it's
close.
got to get to 5 before I went. That's all I said.
Oh, you've been
I've
been
been
humming.
A lot of humming.
You've been humming all about
I haven't been
there for
humming
a
at
while.
all.
Yeah, you
I
have.
haven't been humming at all.
The highest
but
they
no,
got was like 17.5.
when
I
you
think.
look at the Mets pitching, I mean, it's fucking. They're just like, are they just good?
Yeah.
Are they just having a good year? Are they just like exceptional?
They've been topping
They've
out.
been good. They've been good.
Yes.
That can't continue in a playoff run.
Maybe, but we've seen.
Yeah.
Their ERAs, Phil. See if
Sure.
it's on like SNY or something on that tweet. They have a graphic of the Mets ERAs for like the last couple of months. Their lights. One of the guys is pitching to a .28 ERA
Yeah,
or something.
Quintana over his last 5
Quintana's a
starts.
2.8 ERA.
Listen,
He's your ace. He should be.
if they do it, God bless you. I just think we've seen a lot of times in baseball. We've seen where guys have these great. All of a sudden, playoffs come around and it's just a different game.
Yeah.
They might listen if Quintana, Peterson, and Manaya
Yeah.
if they just keep rocking out like they have been, then you'll be in good shape. But
It's a good 3-game set to do, and then Senga potentially coming back.
Is he?
He's working on it. Yeah, he's working on it.
He can be eligible to be activated, I think, Wednesday. I don't think he's going to be built up to be a starter, but I'd say this, like, Senga goes 3 innings in a playoff game, Quintana follows with another 3, then you work your bullpen out, like a little piggyback action.
Yeah, there's a lot of options.
Definitely couldn't hurt.
And then the other team we don't have anybody on the beat anymore, but Detroit Tigers are fucking lights out.
They're good. I think they'd be dangerous in the wild card, and huge for them. The Twins were winning, like, up, obviously the 10th they're up 4-2. They lose 5-4 to the Guardians. So I mean, what are they, half game now?
They're a half game back of the 3rd wild card spot. They're a game and a half back of the 2nd wild card spot.
Wow,
That'd be great.
What do they got?
The Twins are falling off a cliff.
They got the Orioles, Rays, and White Sox the rest of the way.
The Royals and Twins both have a tiebreaker over the Tigers, which does hurt a bit.
Okay.
Sure.
But Tiger, give it credit. They went down to Kansas City this week and won a couple ball games. Like, they're earning it.
Yeah.
Big time.
Like, the Royals, I think, are under 500 since the middle of May. Like, they just got off to a hot start, and that's about it.
Just imagine if the season started, like, in the middle or after May. Meek would be gunning himself.
Oh, with the Mets?
Right. With the Mets having the best record in the league. It's like
since May 30th, best record in baseball.
exactly.
Crazy. It's crazy.
It's a shame the season doesn't start.
I know. It's
Crazy.
a shame it starts in March.
Let's go picks and wrap it up. Ev, what do you got for picks?
So we didn't talk about. I'll just say I like South Alabama plus 7.5 in the college game. I'm on that. App State is just. I think they're always tough in Boone. But I think 7.5 is too much. I think South Alabama is good enough to keep it within the number. I just said I like the Pats line. I'm on Pats 6.5, under 38.5. Stevenson to go a touchdown. On DraftKings, I got like the 50% boost. I boosted it from. I'm playing plus 125 is what I'm giving out, but I was able to boost it to plus 188. Really love that for Stevenson. Sprinkle on Henry plus 500. I think is worth a look. And then I'm on Stevenson over 2.5 catches. I'm on Breece Hall over 31.5 receiving yards as well.
I was trying to find field goals today. What is that usually under?
It's usually 3.5. Oh, under. I never play it. I'm not sure what it tab. Probably game props.
I looked at game props. It's not in there.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what tab.
But I would play the field goals.
I would guess it's probably. Oh, defense special teams props maybe.
I'll find it.
Yeah. I got. Yeah, it is.
So defense special teams props.
I have field goal total over 3.5 minus 140.
I'm playing that.
Yeah, it's under defense special teams props.
You can play that.
And then you can play each kickers. They're like the over for zero lines over 1.5 field goals and the over for slides over 1.5.
I know. Yeah,
I almost rather
you
just
do
play
that.
like both of those.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like that's both of those are very live in a game like this. Because I think points are going to be hard to come by.
Supposed to be nice.
Like if it's nice game. I think nice Dave's. I think it's 4th and 2. I think everybody doing more kicking than going.
I just played the field goal, so I'm on
the offenses
over 3.5 field goals and Stevenson to score a touchdown plus 125. Smitty, what are you on?
Pats plus 6.5, under 38.5. I'll take that field goal as well. Over 3.5. Aaron Rodgers, gravy bet of the night. Under 1.5 yards on the ground. Also, Logan Webb, Zach Eflin, under 7.5 in the early game, and minus 1.5 Astros tonight.
All right.
Give me Aaron Rodgers under 1.5 rushing with Smitty. Give me no touchdown score tonight, plus 4,000. And Luis Angel Acuna home run, plus 950. He has 2 home runs in his first 3 starts.
I like it.
Love it.
I like it. All right. Pick Central back tomorrow. I'm taking calls. We got a couple of guys out. I'll be traveling, so we'll be taking calls if you want for Pick Central tomorrow. Yak is up next.